Anne of Green Gables, Chapter 3, Marilla Makes Up Her Mind.
I've decided to enjoy this drive,
Anne said to Marilla on the way to Mrs. Spencer's house.
I've learned you can nearly always enjoy something if you try hard. I'm not going to think about going back to the orphanage. I'm just going to think about the drive. Oh, look, there's a wild rose,
She went on.
Isn't it lovely? Wouldn't it be nice if roses could talk? And isn't pink the most bewitching color in the world? I love it, but I can't wear it. Red-headed people can't wear pink. Do you know anybody whose hair color changed when they grew up?
No,
Said Marilla wearily.
and I don't think your hair color will change either.
Well, that's another hope gone. My life is a graveyard of buried hopes. That's a sentence I read in a book once. I say it to comfort myself when I'm disappointed.
How does it comfort you?
Asked Marilla, surprised.
Why, because it sounds so nice and romantic, as if I were a heroine in a book.
If you're going to keep talking, you should tell me something about yourself.
Said Marilla.
Can I make it up?
Anne asked.
It'll be much more interesting.
No, I don't want any stories. Just stick to the facts. Where were you born? And how old are you?
Asked Marilla sternly.
I was 11 last March,
Said Anne.
and I was born in Nova Scotia. My father and mother were both high school teachers. They were very poor and lived in a tiny yellow house. I was born in that house. Mrs. Thomas said I was an ugly baby, scrawny and thin, but that my mother thought I was perfectly beautiful. She died of fever when I was only 3 months old, and soon after, my father died from fever too. So I was an orphan and nobody knew what to do with me. Father and mother had both come from places far away and had no relatives around. Finally, Mrs. Thomas took me in, even though she was poor and her husband was a drunk. I lived with them until I was 8 years old. I helped look after the children, and it was hard work. Then Mr. Thomas was killed when he fell under a train. After that, I lived with the Hammonds, who had 8 children. She had twins 3 times. I like babies, but twins 3 times is too much. I got so tired carrying them around. I lived with the Hammonds for 2 years, and then Mr. Hammond died. I had to go to the orphanage because the Hammonds didn't want me any longer either. It was too crowded in their house.
Did you ever go to school?
Marilla asked.
A little bit.
Answered Anne.
I can read well, and I know lots of poetry. Don't you just love poetry?
Were those women, Mrs. Thomas and Mrs. Hammond, good to you?
Asked Marilla, looking at Anne carefully. Stammered Anne, blushing with embarrassment.
They tried to be good to me. I'm sure they meant to be good.
Marilla asked no more questions. She suddenly felt pity for Anne, who hadn't had much love in her short life. Soon they arrived at Mrs. Spencer's house.
Well,
Mrs. Spencer exclaimed.
you're the last folks I expected. How are you, Anne? All right,
Said Anne without smiling.
Mrs. Spencer,
Began Marilla.
I'm sorry, but there's been a mistake. We told the orphanage we wanted a boy.
Oh,
Mrs. Spencer said.
that's too bad. I'm very sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
Said Marilla.
Can we send the child back? The orphanage will take her, won't they?
I suppose so.
Said Mrs. Spencer thoughtfully.
But wait a minute. Mrs. Blewett was here yesterday. She told me she would like a little girl.
Marilla was not very pleased to hear this. Mrs. Blewett had a terrible temper and did not treat servant girls well.
Look, there's Mrs. Blewett now,
Said Mrs. Spencer. A thin-faced, frowning woman came over to the house.
How lucky. She can take Anne now.
Mrs. Spencer explained the mistake to Mrs. Blewett. Mrs. Blewett looked Anne over from head to toe. "How old are you and what's your name?" she demanded.
My name is Anne Shirley, and I'm 11 years old.
Anne replied. "You're too thin, but you're wiry," snapped Mrs. Blewett. "The wiry ones are the best. You'll be a good girl and work hard. All right, Miss Cuthbert, she said to Marilla. I'll take her home now.
I don't know,
Marilla said slowly.
Matthew and I haven't decided what to do yet. If we decide not to keep Anne, I'll send her over tomorrow.
All right, said Mrs. Blewett ungraciously. At Marilla's words, Anne's eyes grew bright like stars.
Can I really stay at Green Gables?
She whispered to Marilla.
We'll decide tonight,
said Marilla crossly.
But you heard me. You might go to Mrs. Blewett. She needs you more than Matthew and I do.
Oh, send me to the orphanage instead. Mrs. Blewett looks like a monster,
said Anne.
Anne Shirley, don't talk like that,
Marilla scolded.
Go and sit quietly and be a good girl.
I'll be anything you want if you will keep me,
pleaded Anne. Later, Marilla told Matthew about Anne's history and the trip to Mrs. Spencer's house.
I wouldn't give a dog to Mrs. Blewett,
said Matthew.
I don't like Mrs. Blewett's style either,
admitted Marilla.
Since you want to keep the girl, I suppose she can stay. I've never brought up a child, especially a girl. I'll probably make a mess of it, but I'll do my best.
Matthew's shy face glowed with delight.
Marilla, I hoped you would change your mind. She's such an interesting little thing.
Yes, well, don't interfere, Matthew,
Marilla said.
I won't tell Anne tonight because she'll be so excited she won't sleep. An old maid might not know much about raising children, but neither does an old bachelor. Goodness knows what will come of it.
Anne of Green Gables, Chapter 4. Good News for Anne. Marilla had decided to keep Anne, but she didn't want to tell Anne until the next day. She took Anne upstairs and said,
Now, Anne, I noticed you threw all your clothes on the floor. That's a bad habit. Please fold your clothes and put them on the chair.
I was so upset last night I forgot,
said Anne.
I'll fold them nicely tonight.
Say your prayers and get into bed.
I never say any prayers,
announced Anne. Marilla was horrified.
What do you mean? Were you never taught to say prayers?
Well, Mrs. Thomas told me that God made my hair red on purpose, so I don't really care for God. Anyway, I'm always too tired to say prayers.
Well, you must say your prayers here,
Marilla insisted.
Of course I will,
said Anne cheerfully.
I'm ready. What do I say?
Just thank God and ask for some things you want,
Marilla told Anne.
I'll do my best,
promised Anne.
Dear God, thank you for the wild cherry tree and the lake, which I call the Lake of Shining Waters. I want so many things that it'll take a long time to say everything. So the most important things are these. Please let me stay at Green Gables, and please make me pretty when I grow up.
Marilla waited until the next afternoon to tell Anne she could stay. During the morning, Marilla asked Anne to do various tasks, and she watched Anne with a keen eye. By noon, Marilla saw that Anne was a hard worker, quick to learn, clever, and obedient. Her most serious shortcoming was a tendency to start daydreaming in the middle of a task and forget everything until Marilla reprimanded her. When Anne finished washing dishes, she suddenly grabbed Marilla.
Oh, please, Miss Cuthbert, can you tell me if I can stay or not? I've tried to be patient all morning. Please tell me.
You haven't rinsed the dishcloth in boiling water, Anne,
said Marilla.
Do that first.
Anne attended to the dishcloth and then looked at Marilla again.
Well,
said Marilla,
Matthew and I decided to keep you, if you are a good girl. Anne, what's the matter?
I'm crying,
said Anne.
But I don't know why. I'm so happy. Oh, happy isn't the right word. I was happy to see the trees and flowers, but this, I'll try to be so good. Mrs. Thomas said I am wicked, so it will be difficult, but I'll try. But why am I crying, Marilla?
I suppose because you're excited and worked up,
said Marilla disapprovingly.
Sit down on that chair. Try to calm down. You laugh and cry far too easily. Now, you must go to school when it starts in September. Until then, you can help me here.
What will I call you? Miss Cuthbert? Aunt Marilla?
No, just Marilla. I'm not used to Miss Cuthbert. Just plain Marilla is fine.
It sounds awfully disrespectful to say just Marilla,
protested Anne.
Everybody else does. Make sure you speak politely and it will be fine,
Marilla replied.
I'd love to call you Aunt Marilla,
said Anne.
I've never had an aunt or any relation at all, not even a grandmother. Please?
No, you can't. I don't believe in calling people names that don't belong to them.
But we could imagine you're my aunt.
I couldn't,
said Marilla grimly.
Do you ever imagine things different from what they really are, Marilla?
asked Anne, wide-eyed.
No,
said Marilla.
Oh.
Anne drew a long breath. Then she spoke.
Oh, Marilla, how much you miss.
Later, Anne asked,
Marilla, do you think I will ever have a kindred spirit in Avonlea?
A what?
asked Marilla.
A kindred spirit. A best friend in whom I can confide my innermost soul. I've dreamed of meeting her all my life. I never really supposed I would, but so many of my dreams have come true all at once that perhaps this one will too. Do you think it's possible?
Diana Barry lives nearby, and she's about your age,
Marilla replied.
She's a very nice girl, and perhaps she can be your playmate when she comes home. She's visiting her aunt now. You'll have to be careful how you behave, though. Mrs. Barry is very particular. She won't let Diana play with any girl who isn't nice and good.
What is Diana like?
Anne asked.
Her hair isn't red, is it? Oh, I hope not. It's bad enough to have red hair myself, but I positively couldn't endure it in a best friend, too.
Diana is a very pretty girl,
said Marilla.
She has black eyes and hair and rosy cheeks, and she is good and smart, which is better than being pretty.
I'm so glad she's pretty,
Anne said.
I'm not beautiful, so having a beautiful friend would be wonderful. When I lived with Mrs. Thomas, there was a bookcase with glass doors. One of the doors was broken because Mr. Thomas smashed it when he was drunk. The other glass door was whole. I used to pretend that my reflection was another little girl who lived in the glass. Her name was Katie, and we were very close. I told her everything. Katie was my only friend. We pretended that the bookcase was enchanted. I knew the spell that took me to Katie's world. In Katie's world, there were flowers and fairies and sunshine, and we would live there happily ever after. When I went to live with Mrs. Hammond, I was so upset to leave Katie. She was sad, too.
Marilla listened and then gave Anne a strange look.
I don't approve of such things, Anne. You seem to half believe your own imagination. Don't let Mrs. Barry hear you talking about your friend Katie. She'll think you're strange.
Oh, I won't,
said Anne.
I won't tell anybody, but I thought you'd like to know.
Well,
Marilla said, smiling,
you'll have a real friend soon, Anne.
Look, there's a big bee in that apple blossom,
said Anne.
If I wasn't human, I think I'd like to be a bee and live in the flowers.
Yesterday you wanted to be a bird,
said Marilla.
You are very fickle. Now, just be quiet for a minute. It seems impossible for you to stop talking if you've got anybody who will listen to you.